You reach for your phone, and their name is already lighting up your screen. You walk into the bookstore with no agenda, and the exact title you've been avoiding stares back from the shelf at eye level. You change your route for no reason you can name and step directly into the conversation that rewrites your year. You tell yourself it's coincidence because you were trained to guard your life with that word. But something deeper than your thoughts is taking notes. Your chest opens, your breath drops, your field widens like a door unlocking from the inside. You didn't stumble into this message. You were drawn here. Some part of you has been testing the frequency for months, maybe years, and tonight, it's finally clear enough to receive transmission. I'm not here to sell you a system. You don't need new beliefs to access what you've always known. You need cleaner attention and the spine to act when the pattern lands too precisely to dismiss. If you listen with that quality of attention, you will feel the room reorganize around your question. The song that used to be background noise will deliver the line you were afraid to speak out loud. You will notice how reality behaves when you stop pretending it isn't addressing you directly. Your mind will try to negotiate. It will call you gullible. It will say you're making everything about you. Let it argue. You don't need the world to revolve around you. You need it to correspond with you. That is different. When you carry a life question, the city rearranges its signals. What matches your frequency steps forward. What doesn't belong fades into static. If you want a name for this precision, take Thoth, keeper of the scales, the one who measures without flattery. The forbidden part was never the spectacle. It's that authorship returns to you. Before you learned to dismiss patterns as fantasy, you spoke synchronicity fluently. You felt the pull of certain paths before your mind could map them. You knew when calls were coming. You trusted the timing that made no logical sense but felt completely right. Then, education arrived with its measuring tools. You were rewarded for explanations that fit inside acceptable boxes. Wonder became embarrassing. Intuition became unreliable. You learned to trust only what others had already proven. And slowly, you stopped listening to the intelligence that speaks through patterns. So you practiced a useful lie. You acted like you didn't hear the part of life that speaks in rhythms, but you never stopped hearing it. You still take the route that doesn't make sense on paper, but delivers you exactly where you need to be. You live split between the public life that worships randomness and the private life that knows you are constantly being addressed. That split ends here. In the oldest teachings, Thoth holds the scales of correspondence. What lives in your inner world writes itself across your outer world with mathematical precision. As within, so without. This isn't poetry, it's mechanics. Your dominant question becomes a tuning fork. The universe around you begins to vibrate at that frequency. You're not creating these occurrences. You're selecting them from an infinite field of possibilities. Your consciousness acts as a filter, programmed by whatever question burns brightest in your chest. Synchronicity speaks through three primary languages. Numbers arrive first because they cut through doubt. When 333 appears on your receipt, while you're deciding whether to apply for that program, on the clock when you pick up your phone to make the call, and on the license plate of the car in front of you as you drive to the interview, you're being confronted by rhythm. Rhythm is how reality marks a threshold when you are ready to cross it. Symbols follow because they're personal. The hawk that shouldn't be circling downtown appears exactly when you're questioning your strength. The song you haven't heard in years plays in 3 different locations while you're processing an old wound. You feel it in your body when a symbol is yours. Your breath drops, your shoulders unclench. The symbol escorts your present to the front of the line. Timing is the most expensive messenger. This is when the city rearranges itself to place you in conversations you couldn't have scheduled. You miss one train and catch another that seats you next to the person who becomes your business partner. The machinery is quiet and precise. You don't feel chosen like a celebrity. You feel seen like a witness. Recognizing synchronicity is only half the equation. The other half is response. Meaning wants a conversation, not just acknowledgement. When a pattern presents itself clearly, your body produces an immediate knowing. Call, don't call, turn left, speak up, wait, move now. This impulse is small, specific, and dissolves if you analyze it to death. The protocol is simple. Notice, name, act. Notice means you give the day permission to address you. And when it does, you don't look away. You feel the pattern landing past your skepticism into the part of you that recognizes truth by how it changes your breathing. Name means you translate the signal into one clear sentence. This is asking me to make the call. This confirms I should wait. This is not mine to carry. Naming stops you from performing confusion when you actually know what's being asked. Act means you complete the circuit while the energy is live. Not theatrically, not someday, but now. You send the message while the window is open. You put your body in the room that is clearly for you. When you respond, the circuit closes, and that closure invites more current. That's why people who answer synchronicity receive more of it. The channel isn't rewarding faith, it's rewarding participation. Here's what changes everything. You stop waiting for permission from the outside world to trust what you know on the inside. You stop outsourcing your sense of meaning to experts who never carried your specific question. You don't need dramatic signs or cosmic fireworks. You need the courage to move on the quiet nudges that arrive exactly when you're ready to receive them. Real guidance is allergic to theatrics. It wants congruence. This isn't about becoming superstitious. It's about becoming literate in the language your life has been speaking all along. It's about graduating from chance to choice, from coincidence to correspondence. The moment you start treating meaningful patterns as information instead of imagination, your world begins to behave like it knows you're paying attention. Because it does. And it's been waiting for you to join the conversation. The question isn't whether synchronicity is real. The question is whether you're ready to stop pretending it isn't speaking directly to you. Your next meaningful coincidence is already in motion. This time, when it arrives, you'll know exactly what to do with it. The conversation starts now.